Hello, once again, this is Bill Steffen, and we are in the man cave. We got a lot to talk about again here. Taking a look at the climate data, we'll start out with that. And we've had 5 days in a row now when the temperature has been cooler than average. But despite that, those days have just been slightly cooler than average. For the month of March, we're still 4.5 degrees warmer than average, and we're going to turn on the warm side here as we close out the rest of the week. Precipitation has totaled 2.5 inches so far in Grand Rapids, and that's about 2/3 of an inch above average. And, we've only had 2 inches of snow here since February 17th. We've gone a long stretch here without getting any real significant snowstorms here, and nothing that needed to be plowed, at least in the Grand Rapids area. There's been more snow off to the north. Average wind speed for the month still at 12 miles an hour, and that is a windy month. It gets windier during the daytime than at night usually, but this has certainly been a breezy month here in West Michigan. Here's how much snow there is on the ground. If you were from northern Kent County north, there was at least a little trace of snow out there, and the snow picks up a little bit once you get up to around Cadillac, over to around Kalkaska, Mansalona, but the real heavy snow is up along the Lake Superior shoreline. Every storm this winter seems to be heading toward the UP, and we have more snow coming up here in the forecast for Upper Michigan and some freezing rain. This is a neat picture. This is a satellite picture, and look at Lower Michigan. Lower Michigan is sunny. The white you see on the ground that runs from northern Muskegon County up toward Cadillac, Traverse City, that is snow on the ground. You see there's no snow out over the lake, obviously. There were a few clouds out over Lake Michigan there, as you see the central southern part of the lake, but all that white you see there, you can see Traverse Bay showing up in the dark color right there, and Torch Lake is open water. That's a very deep lake. We talked about that before. Torch Lake twice as deep as Lake Erie, believe it or not. Well, let's take a look at some of those snow totals. First of all, up at the snow stake at Gaylord, they dropped from 4 inches to 2 inches as temperatures warmed up today. It was a beautiful day. The sun came out there, and they really enjoyed the day, but you can see there's pretty solid snow cover there. Cadillac at noon still had 4 inches where they measure it there, and I bet about 2 of that melted during the afternoon. Look at the snow up in the UP. The snow total for the city is to the upper left of where that city is. If you look, for instance, at Grand Marais, it's not the 8 inches there. It's the 13 inches at Grand Marais, and that's right along the Lake Superior shoreline where there's been less snow. The Munising reading is a few miles inland where they have 35 inches on the ground. I would imagine if you went south of Grand Marais a little bit more, you'd find a couple feet of snow on the ground there as well. Sault Ste. Marie, you can see, is down there a little bit to around 13 inches. 19 inches. Sault Ste. Marie has now, as of today, had at least half a foot of snow on the ground for 4 consecutive months. Isn't that something? That's a place that gets a lot of snow and stays with it. They are up to 194 inches for the winter season. Here's how much snow that we can expect during the next 4 days or next 3 days, 72 hours. If anybody's heading toward upstate New York, the Adirondacks, the Green and White Mountains in Vermont and New Hampshire, and up across Maine, it will be snowing there. Just a dusting at the most for Upper Michigan, and we turn the snow off there for a while. And you can see the Cascade Mountains there at Mount Baker. I checked with them today. They are up to 551 inches for the winter season. But as of today, they were getting rain, and it was quite warm in the Pacific Northwest. Portland, Oregon set a record high temperature, not only for the date, but also for the entire month of March. They were 82 degrees, and it was 73 at Quileute, Washington, which is right on the coast. They get a lot of days there in July that aren't that warm at Quileute. Here's a look at the chance of freezing rain, and this is a percent chance. That brown color there, northeast of Grand Rapids, is just a 1% chance, but you can see the chance improves to greater than 50% for far northern Lower Michigan and parts of the UP and northern Wisconsin. Now, this is for mainly Friday night into early Saturday, so if anybody's heading up there early part of the weekend, keep in mind there's that chance of freezing rain, and they could have some quite slippery roads to deal with here Saturday morning. This is a look at our first sponsor, and I think we're going to hear from them right now.
Okay, so if you're like me and you wait until the last minute to do your taxes, I know I shouldn't, and every year I say I'm not going to, and then I do. But here's something that can help you. You don't also need to clean your own house or your own business. Complete Care Concierge can be your fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service. Wherever you need them, you can let them take care of it, and that will free up all the time that you need to do your taxes and relax at the same time. So they do home cleaning, they do business cleaning, special things. They can clean on the weekend. They can help you once. They can help you on a schedule, whatever you need. They serve all of West Michigan. So if you're in West Michigan and you're wondering if they're in your area, they are. So just give them a call and they can take care of whatever you need, whether it's tax season or not. So 616-264-1397. That's Complete Care Concierge LLC, fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service, 616-264-1397. And we thank them for being a sponsor of Bill, Steffen Weather.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
And thanks to our sponsors. Here's a look at headlines. Warming trend on the way here for the next several days. We were mid-40s yesterday. We'll see readings back up into the low 50s here later today, maybe even upper 50s down toward the Indiana border. And then we'll see readings soar into the 60s here for Friday and on Saturday. So certainly some warmer weather ahead. We are going to be seeing more clouds, less sunshine around here, and the possibility that we'll be seeing some showers into the picture. Chance of rain today is about 30%. So that's a 70% chance that you won't see any rain at all. So that's the best bet. But don't be surprised if there's a shower that scoots by here around midday. Most of the day, it will not be raining. And we start out kind of chilly in the morning here, low 30s, with readings bouncing back up into the low to mid 50s during the afternoon hours. Humidity drops to about 55-60% during the afternoon. Winds will be out of the west and pretty typical, around 10 to 15 miles an hour. High temperatures here today, mostly low 50s around Grand Rapids, and the warmer air heads off to the north a little bit where there isn't much snow on the ground. Traverse City should make 48, but only in the 30s up along the Lake Superior shoreline. And like I said, it could be upper 50s down toward the Indiana border. We move ahead to Friday, and look at the yellow appearing here. That's temperatures in the 60s. We could be at least mid 60s for Grand Rapids. Three Rivers gets 71 here Friday afternoon, and again, most of the day it will not be raining, but there is a good chance for some scattered showers. Much cooler off to the north. You can see those temperatures hanging around 32 up along the Lake Superior shoreline, where again, that will be there's the possibility for a touch of freezing rain up there Friday night into early Saturday. And here's Saturday, again, quite a contrast across the state, from temperatures approaching 70 down toward the Indiana border. Mid-60s for Grand Rapids, low 40s for Traverse City with a chilly wind coming off the bay Saturday afternoon, and then 30s up along the Lake Superior shoreline. So warmer for southern lower Michigan, but it stays pretty chilly up there toward the UP. 5-day forecast looks like this: 30% chance of a shower here today, 60% on Friday as temperatures soar up into the mid-60s. We're still mid-60s with scattered showers on Saturday. Sunday, we not only have showers, but the possibility of a thunder shower here. Temperature around 60 or so, but only low to mid 50s as you head north of Grand Rapids. And Monday, the cold air comes back in. We're only 40 at best in the afternoon, with the possibility of some rain and snow showers. So enjoy the mild air here Friday and over the weekend. Look at this. You don't see this too often. That is a severe thunderstorm watch that was in effect overnight for Washington and Oregon. Of course, they had a very warm day out there, but they've got thunderstorms. The possibility exists through the early morning of some hail, some strong gusty winds, and even an isolated tornado. You don't see that too often at any time of the year, much less here in early spring in Seattle and in the Portland, Oregon area as well. Here's the severe weather outlook area for Sunday. And again, they've moved that back. That was up into the area almost up to I-94. Then they moved it back down to around Fort Wayne and Findlay. But I wouldn't be surprised if they move that back up to the Michigan-Indiana border at least. And that is a large area where there could be isolated severe weather here Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. So check with later forecast updates on that, as we may be dealing with some heavier thunderstorm activity here Sunday afternoon, and especially if you're off to the south of town. Long range outlook now the latest one, 8 to 14 day outlook, covers April 3rd through the 9th. We're still above average in temperatures, but the above average area is creeping farther east, and the cooler than average area is creeping in from the west. So we expect temperatures beyond about the 8th and 9th to turn a little bit cooler here. Rainfall continues to be above average here for the period. So beginning with this coming weekend here, we're certainly going to be seeing a wetter pattern than we have seen. So that's what's ahead for us, Michelle. And you have I assume that's a sandman. Is that a snowman or a sandman?
It's
both.
both.
If it's a sandman, I'll probably fall asleep.
So this is from Brian Johnson from Siesta Beach, Florida. Wouldn't it be nice to be in Siesta Beach, Florida? Yeah, and this is a snow sand castle man.
Somebody did a good job with that.
Yeah.
Probably somebody from Michigan. We got a lot of Michigan people go down to Florida. If you've ever seen advertising for Florida on TV or advertising at other sources, Florida spends a fair amount of time. I remember when I was down in Disney World back in the 1990s, and I interviewed somebody from PR there, they were talking about how many people from Michigan vacation in Florida during the spring season. So
is it weather-wise, is it better to be on the Atlantic coast side or the Gulf of whatever side? Like, is there a weather reason that one is better than the other?
Yeah, the Gulf of whatever. We were just talking about that the other day. I mean, the Mississippi River is called the Mississippi River. Well, why can't we call it the Wisconsin River? And there is a Wisconsin River, by the way. There already is one, and there's a Minnesota River and there's an Illinois River. I guess they were all taken, so Mississippi gets the short straw or whatever. This is I would vote for the West Coast. I think I've always enjoyed the West Coast and get to see the sunset there and everything. We on our honeymoon we went to Disney World for a couple 3 days, and then we went to Sanibel Island and had a fantastic time. And we took you kids to Sanibel Island once. You remember that? You might not be too small.
No, but I remember that you guys came home with a mirror that was like surrounded by seashells, and we had that thing for years. You probably still have it.
Mom made that. Yes, she would make mirrors that were outlined in shells that were attached to the mirror. So that was neat. Yeah, we still have at least one of those here in the house.
Okay, so come with me to the second half of GVSU women's basketball playing in the NCAA Division II Final Four tonight, and it was a real nail biter. So Follow me along as I hit refresh on the score, watching the minutes tick away in this game. Mm-hmm. The teams were tied with Pittsburgh State. They were tied at 39 with 4:43 to play in the third. So what's going to happen? End of the third, they're still tied at 46.
Wow.
I know, right? So then 6:40 in the fourth, and GVSU starts to pull ahead, 54 to 46. That's not enough. It doesn't feel like enough. And with 3:16 in the fourth, Pittsburgh started to come back a little bit, and GVSU was up by 5. And then they were up by 4 with 1:26 to go, and then 8 seconds to go. Now they've got an 8-point lead, and 5 seconds to go. They bring it back a little bit close, but in the end, Grand Valley wins, and they're on their way to the national championship game to be held Friday night against Cal State Dominguez Hills at 6 p.m.
Okay, where's that being played? Do you know?
I think still Pittsburgh.
Still Pittsburgh? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So exciting times for them. We'll see if they can win their first championship since 2006. And
the game is still ESPNU, or?
I'm assuming.
I would assume that they would have the even Division II, that they would have that nationally broadcast.
Yeah.
It probably is on radio here. If you Google around, you can probably find that game.
I'll be at work, and I'll be missing the NCAA men's games in Atlanta, which will be exciting too. Both of the Michigan teams, and then Ole Miss and Auburn.
And Purdue is in, and from the Big Ten, is Maryland still in? I think Maryland might still be in too.
You mean the Big 18?
They had a really close game, I know. Wow. Well, congratulations, Laker ladies.
Yes. And hopefully we'll have more to celebrate on Friday. Okay, so here is your current events On this day in history, trivia question. On March 27, 1988, this American won the figure skating world championships in Budapest, Hungary, and he would later be the subject of a South Park parody song that is his namesake.
Wow. Let's see. Who would have been a great skater back in 1988? I guess Brian Boitano would be my
There
first.
you go.
Wow.
Yes, and the South Park song
Boitano in
is
Budapest.
What Would Brian Boitano Do, which is a parody of What Would Jesus Do? And Brian Boitano is the hero of our story in these progressively more ridiculous situations where he saves the day and has all the wisdom. So I can't sing it because we get copyrighted, but it's a really funny song.
Isn't that crazy with the copyright rules? So
Anyways,
Brian Boitano,
yes.
Budapest.
On this day in history, he won his world championships in Budapest. And that picture in the background, I took that in Budapest. I was there
Oh, okay.
last fall. Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. It's supposed to be a beautiful city. It really is.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Should I put that on my bucket list?
Oh, absolutely.
I haven't even gotten to Saginaw yet. I should probably do them first.
And one of the things we did, they've got some of the steepest escalators going down to the underground subway in the world because they were designed to be bomb shelters for the Cold War.
Wow.
So it's like totally don't look up because it's completely disorienting. If you're a person that gets disoriented by heights, just know. So one of the things we did was seek out where the steepest one was because I had been there with the Blue Lake Choir when I was 15. And one of the things I remembered from all those years ago was how crazy steep the escalators going down to the subway were. So we made a point of going back. And yeah, it was just as I remembered.
Do they have elevators?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That would be hard for some people to handle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not for the weary. That's for sure.
Okay.
All right. It's still Women's History Month. So let's do this one. And you should know this one. I'm going to be disappointed if you don't. This person is the first woman to be elected mayor of Grand Rapids. She was elected in 2016.
Ah, Rosalind Bliss.
Yes. Very good. And who was mayor before that?
Mm-hmm.
Who was mayor before that?
Hartwell.
Very good. Yeah. Rosalind Bliss. She served from 2016 to 2024. And I believe she was a commissioner before then.
Yes. And it was interesting because Mayor Hartwell sometimes would get mistaken for me, and I would get mistaken for him. I had somebody come up to me. I was just walking by the Ford Museum and come, Mr. Mayor, and they started complaining about potholes or something like that. And I'm like, I'm not the mayor. I'm the other guy.
Yeah.
So,
she also has ties to Alabama. I think she went to college here.
And I think she was from Sault Ste. Marie. And I think she told me once that she wanted to be a meteorologist when she was young.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. And she's still around, I think. Nice lady. I've talked to her 3 times.
And do you know who the mayor is now?
David LeGrand, who is a Facebook friend of mine.
Yep. Very good. Okay. We're doing good. All right. This person, another one that you really should know, was the first woman to be chief meteorologist of a major broadcast network in West Michigan. You were there.
I was there. Chief meteorologist. Okay, that would be Ellen Baca then.
Very good.
Somebody else that begins with the letter B. We're highlighting the letter B tonight.
And another one of your friends, this person was the first woman to earn the American Meteorological Society Broadcasting Seal of Approval for Michigan. Ever in Michigan, the first woman.
In Michigan, that's a big caveat because I remember Valerie Voss had the seal of approval long before I did, and I started in the mid 70s. Let's see. This person was the first woman. I think that would be Terry DeBoer, if I'm not mistaken.
Terry DeBoer, very good.
Another big letter B sitting in there. 1996.
My freshman year of high school. Okay, and another one. This WZZM meteorologist was on the air from 1999 to 2009. She is a veteran of the U.S. Air Force and is an FAA certified pilot.
That would be Linda Page.
Very good.
Do people remember, going back to 1999? I imagine there's some people here that either weren't born or people that have moved to the area here, but a really nice lady, a very smart lady too. And she still does.
I remember. I knew all these people growing up because, we'd wander in and out of your work from time to time. Yeah, she was really cool and really accomplished. So she does the meteorologist thing now and does aviation stuff as well.
Yes, and her husband, pilot as well. He was up at the Sparta Airport for a while. I think he used to fly Northwest. He used to go between Grand Rapids and Chicago and Rome. I think he had that route for a while. That's a tough route, if you're a pilot, I mean, you get a really nice place like Rome, or you could get a really, dangerous place, or you could get a place where the weather's really hard and it's hard to land planes.
FCO. I don't know why it's named FCO. I've never flown into Italy. I've been to Italy twice, but driving both times.
Never been there, but that is on my list of things to do. Great. My father was in a dance band, and his band was sponsored by Northwestern University to tour Europe in 1939, and which is a really volatile area. But
he's got some crazy pictures.
Oh, he was over there, I think, for 5 months playing, and he was in all the big cities. Everyone would come down to hear this band from America, and he really loved Italy. He was in the Lakes region, especially off to the in the northern part of Italy. He said the food was wonderful, the people were wonderful, and it was, and none of them like Mussolini. So it was an interesting time back then. But after that, my dad came back and enlisted in the army because he knew we were going to be at war with Hitler. So interesting. Oh, more women's history.
Okay, this one goes back even further. This person was the first woman trained in meteorology to be a broadcast meteorologist in the United States. She was on the air in 1972 at WGRZ in Buffalo, New York, and also the first woman ever to earn the AMS Broadcasting Seal of Approval, and also the first African-American woman to do that as well.
Wow. 1972, that was kind of like before my time. On the air in 1972, WGRZ, pretty famous station in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Don't think I can come up with this one. Oh, okay. I've heard that name before. There was a lady that I used to go to AMS conferences, and there was a lady, an African-American lady that was doing the weather in, I believe, Albany, Georgia. And I remember meeting her like back in the 70s, and she was already on the air doing that.
June was from Wichita, and she went to UCLA, where they told her to major in something more practical like home economics.
Yeah.
So she ended up with her fabulous broadcasting career, and then also did meteorology for some government entities as well.
Your mother was a home ec major, a glorified home ec major. It was entitled, what was her, something in family planning, home design and family planning or something like that.
And it's American Red Cross Month, honoring the people who contribute to the mission of the Red Cross, which is saving lives and helping people in times of crisis.
They do an awesome job, and I am a Red Cross contributor. So,
and great-grandma, my mom's grandma on my mom's side, volunteered for the Red Cross for 50 years, 50 years.
50 years. Wow. Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
So, Red Cross Month, that's a plus.
If you take a look at the, when I use the line sometimes that the news is 4 things. It's crime, chaos, conflict, and catastrophe. That's what when you watch the news, that's what you hear about. But you don't hear a lot of the good stuff that goes on in the world. And I take a look at some of the organizations like the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, Samaritan's Purse, what those organizations do to help people. I stopped at Liberty, Kentucky, West Liberty, Kentucky, I think it was, after the famous tornado that went through there. And you would not believe, I talked to volunteers from every church group. There was the Methodists were there, the Lutherans were there, the Catholics were there. Everybody had a disaster team that was out there helping people. And it's amazing how people came together. The tornado hit the downtown area, so it wrecked everything, and it took. I mean, every service that you normally counted on. The grocery store was destroyed. The drugstore was destroyed. The bank was destroyed. So they had so much to build up. But the Red Cross was there. They had their tents. They had their cross symbol out there, and they were helping a lot of people. So hats off to them.
And finally, some fun photos. Where are you and what are we doing?
Take a good look at those pictures, everybody. All right, well, let me see if I get these right. The one on my left, as you look at the TV, is me in Ravenna, And they have a slide there that's kind of built up on a mound so that if you fall off, you don't get hurt. But I went down that slide and I liked it so much. I went down it like 2 or 3 times.
When
And
I was
so
your age, all
this is
playground
my
equipment
wife,
was
and I
dangerous.
came up and she took a picture of me coming down the slide. Okay, the middle one. That I am holding on with my hand a Van de Graaff generator, and that is at the Science Museum, the Science and Energy Museum in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And they wanted volunteers from the audience to come up and hang on to this and see what it did to their hair. And they had women, they had men, they had people with long hair. Obviously, if you have a crew cut, this isn't going to work quite as well, but you can see what it did to me. I got a charge out of that. Let's put it that way. But that was cool. That was, again, at the Science and Energy Museum in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And on the right side, I think that is me and Michelle in younger days. And I think that is a post that is up along the dune buggy rides at Silver Lake. Does that sound right?
That sounds right.
I would assume you don't remember that.
No, but I remember a lot of Silver Lake. I remember having those shoes.
Oh, I watched it. I got to tell you this. Okay. Bear with me, people. Tell the story about Floridale again.
Oh, goodness.
Cool.
Okay, so
Real quick.
Silver Lake is next to, well, there was a resort there called Floridale, FLOR-A-DALE. It was a family camp resort. We would go every summer. Sometimes my grandparents would come. We'd spend the week on Silver Lake, do family camp things. It was great. So then I went to first grade in those shoes because those were my first grade shoes. My mom got them because they were Velcro and they wouldn't annoy the teacher having to tie my shoes all the time. Anyways, we did the what did you do with your summer vacation bit. And I got up and said, I went to Floridale with my family. And the teacher said, oh, honey, you went to Florida. And I went, no, I went to Floridale. Floridale, it's a place, it's like a 45-minute drive away. Did not go to Florida. No, Floridale. Oh, honey, you went to Florida. And I just stopped arguing with her because what's the point? But no, Floridale. And there was a flaw with the name because little children are not believed when they say they've been to this family camp. Anyways, It was a wonderful camp run by Ed Bauer, and we always had a wonderful time there.
Yeah, okay. I'm watching, somebody sent me a reel of some golfer, and the next video that popped up was comedian Red Skelton on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. He's telling this story that he goes to school for the first time when he's in kindergarten. Okay. And the teacher asked him his name, and he said Red. And the teacher said, no, your name's not Red. It's got to be like Ray or something. No, my name's really Red. And the teacher wouldn't believe him. And it's the exact same story that you told me a couple of nights ago. Isn't that weird?
Maya, my stepdaughter.
That's what he went by, was Red. That was his real name.
Maya, my stepdaughter, is going to hate me for telling this story. When she was little, Dan would always call her Maya Pizza Paya. And that's obviously not her middle name, but I guess he did it too much because she got to school and please tell me your first name, your full name, Maya Pizza Paya. So then it got back to Dan that she thought her middle name was Pizza Paya, and poor girl. So that's how she learned. Yeah.
Names are fun. They really can be. And names change. A generation before me, people were all named Bertha and Hortense and Louise, and there's still some Louises out there, but I have yet to find a Hortense here.
I'm a Louise. I'm probably a Louise. I was named after Grandma.
Your name flows because the end of your first name, Michelle L, is the first syllable of the next name, Louise Steffen. So it just kind of flows like that. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought that up. I hope you like it.
Well, yes, Floridale in Florida. I guess in marketing we would call that brand confusion.
Interesting. Wow.
So anyways, there we go. We have lots of fun. So lots of stuff coming up, lots of sports going on Friday night. So
yes,
I'll miss all of that because I'll be at work.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can tune in on your phone when you get a break.
Maybe.
Yeah, we got Michigan. We got Michigan State. Should be a lot to talk about. Well, anyhow, thanks so much for bearing with us here right to the very end. Hope you got a chuckle out of some of what we delivered for you tonight. A little bit warmer weather on the way, slight chance of a shower during the day today. Again, have yourself an awesome day, and thanks for checking our video.